Hi folks, I'm Dave Isaacs. There's been a lot of talk about the Beatles recently with the release of Peter Jackson's documentary Get Back, so this seemed like a great time to take a look at the song called Get Back, and I'm going to give you a fundamental version and then get into some details of the recording itself. So, first of all, here's our map. I'm playing essentially a simple, what we can call a blues bass pattern, a two-note chord, strings 5 and 4, where I'm holding down the second fret of the 4th string, so this is sort of the simplest form of an A chord, and I'm just going to play those two strings together, and then add my ring finger on the 4th fret of that 4th string, and so we get this. If I flatten my index finger a little bit, I can bring in some of the 3rd string 2nd fret, and I'm going to alternate between hitting more strings and then hitting just the 5th, bring this down, just the 5th, 3 strings, just the 5th, put the ring down. And now I'm going to add a little right hand mute. There's our figure on A, which can also be played up here as a power chord. This is coming off an A chord, right here. Just an F moved up. If you're comfortable playing this, this is the way John Lennon played it. Index ring here on frets 5 and 7 of the 6th and 5th strings. Now John would frequently hold this whole chord and just reach his pinky up. If that's a challenge for you to reach, you have a couple of options. You can just concentrate on 2 strings, and that ring finger doesn't even have to stay down. My hand doesn't like that stretch very much, so I might play a part like that this way. Notice that I never let go of index, but I am allowing the other finger to shift. Then when I go to the D chord, I'm just going to move over, same figure on the 5th and 4th strings. Well, that's what happens down here too. So here are the options. I'm going to play it through a couple of different ways. A, D, quick G and D. When I go to the D chord down here, notice that I'm using a modified D chord fingering. Instead of this with 3 fingers, the way you would ordinarily play D, I'm using index middle to cover string 3, 2nd fret, string 2, 3rd fret, and then striking 3 strings, 4, 3, 2, then the 4th. Here's the chord, then the 4th. So this sort of foundational blues bass pattern goes through the whole song. I'm going to play it both ways, open position and fretted on the verse form. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, D, A. If I play it up here, it's a little thicker and fatter up here, so it does sound good. A, D, A. Now the 2 guitar parts really break down, if you listen closely, to one down here in the open position and one up here fretted. So they are actually, both of those things are going on. But when you listen to the recording, the open position guitar is not playing the blues bass figure, so I'm introducing that down here as an option for those of you that are uncomfortable with this. It works just fine, it's just not quite as thick. But you'll notice the song has an intro of just an A chord, and so what we're going to do here is just repeat this A chord, but using a certain amount of muting, so that we play muted chords on the downstroke on the beat, and then strike the power chord, strings 3, 4, 5, on the upstroke. And so the intro does this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Building. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, crescendo, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, G, D, A. And we just stay on this. D, A. same thing. And a G, D, A7, D, A. For the most part, the guitar down here sticks to the open position chords and does play the G, D release. The guitar up here, John Lennon's part, frequently does not play the G, D release, but just stays up in this position. It also adds some fills. So here's John's part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we're going to come off this D chord. Instead of going back to A, we're going to slide the middle finger into fret 11 of the G string. Slide to 11 of the G, 10 of the B. Ring pinky go down together on fret 12 of the B. Bend it up a whole step. As you're holding that bend, bring the pinky in. Fret 12 of the high E string. So, starting from the 3rd string, fret 11, 2nd string, 10, 12 bend. Here's 12 with the pinky. The bend is still being held. Hit the bent string, let it down. Back to 10. And back to your ring finger landing here on fret 11. So. And actually middle finger there on that, I would say. You can hear in one spot, John drops down and does this. But I think the simplest option is to do it this way. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when we hit the chorus, the open position part is still down here. D, A. A7 on the offbeat. So the drums are hitting that accent. 1 and 2 and. So I would, notice the muting, down, up, and then back to. Up here in the chorus, we have a melody lick, and actually an A major pentatonic figure sliding into the 9th fret of the 6th string, indexed here on the 7th fret of the A, 5th string, 9th fret of the 5th, 7th fret of the 4th. Slide in 9, 7, 9, 7, and then this is an A7 chord. This 4-note formation is starting from the D string, 7 and 9, 8 and 9, and we're going to play a 16th note back and forth strum. So 1 and a 3 and 2 and 3 and a 4 E and 3 E and a 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and. Now the chord goes to D, but we play the same figure and then flatten this out. This is a D7, bar at the 7th fret, getting strings 4, 3, 2, middle finger at the 8th fret, getting string 1. So here is the whole chorus part. As I said, the part up here doesn't play as many of the G-D releases. That's pretty much the whole song. There is also the guitar solo, which I think I want to save for a separate lesson, just to keep this one a little bit more compact. I just want to point out one other spot, which is a release that comes at the end of the chorus right before the keyboard solo. Usually the choruses do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your standard chorus form. But what's going to happen in this one chorus, this is the one before the keyboard solo, is there's a release. So we do this. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belong. Get back, get back, stay on the A. Get back to where you once belong. Dun, 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 dun. It's just holding a D chord. The keyboard plays a nice little descending. Slide to 7, 4th string, pinky 7 on the 2nd string, hit the 4th string, slide that ring finger down to the 5th, bring the pinky in, middle finger 4th fret, 4th string, index 3rd fret, 2nd string, and then the same shape, slide the 4th string down, middle finger, bring the index in. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open D, open B. It's a nice figure to throw in there, but you can certainly back to where you once be. Now I'm going to close with kind of a hybrid version of putting the two parts together because I'm alone, obviously, and I can't play two guitar parts at once. So I'm going to grab what I think are the essential parts and do kind of a hybrid bit here. 1, 2, 3, intro. And that's pretty much the whole song. So keep in mind, I know that I've been bouncing back and forth between two guitar parts, and I really tried to keep it clear which was which, but the way that I just played it through is very possibly the way you might choose to play it yourself. Remember that just playing the guitar part as it was recorded on the original song is not always the way it's going to sound complete when you play it alone. So that is the reason I try to make these lessons incorporate some of these kinds of approaches as well. Thanks for watching. I'm Dave Isaacs, and I'll see you next time.